The new wipe is finally here, so here are 5 things to focus on so you don't get left behind. And I already know at least one of these is going to be fairly controversial. At number 5, we have completing the quest Introduction. This is because Jaeger is not automatically unlocked at level 1. You're going to have to do that by completing Mechanic's quest Introduction in order to get him actually unlocked. Jaeger has some decent weapons and some good barters available from level 1, so that's definitely a trader that you're going to want early on. Plus, with the quest not being overly difficult and being pretty straightforward, you can normally get this done within your first few raids after you get the necessary quests done on ground zero. At number 4, we have our controversial one, which is running your scav as little as possible. Now, a lot of people like to run their scavs early on because it's a good way of making free money. In my opinion, however, I run my scav as little as possible because every single raid that you run your scav, you're not gaining any XP. The only thing you're actually gaining is going to be rubles or gear. Granted, once you do have your scav karma up, you can get some pretty nice items spawning in on your scavs, but in my opinion, early on in the wipe, you want to get to level 15 first before you really worry about that, so you have the flea market unlocked, as that's going to be a huge game changer for you. Next up, at number 3, we have looting all of the jackets and filing cabinets you can get your grubby little hands on. This is because both of them are a great source of finding keys, gas analyzers, and flash drives, all of which you're going to need a bunch of early on. The gas analyzers you're going to need for therapist quests, and then for the flash drives you're going to need several of them for several different quests, but you're going to need a couple very early on for skier. And then with the keys that you can get inside the jackets and filing cabinets as well, you can either make a decent amount of money from selling them on the flea once you have that unlocked, or you're going to need them for quests anyway, so you're going to want to hold on to them, so it's a win-win. At number 2, we have building your hideout out as fast as possible. Now with this, there's really only 5 stations you need to worry about early on. And that's going to be the workbench, the lavatory, the med station, the nutrition unit, and last but not least, your generator. This is going to be really important early on, as you can't just go out and buy all the items that you need for those stations. You're either going to have to wait until you're level 15 or find all the items you need in a raid, which is why you should prioritize all of these items and make sure that you're throwing them in your secure container if you have room. Not only are these stations nice to have, but each of them has something available to you that is going to help you get your quests done, such as being able to craft gas analyzers or Salewas or the small cans of Tashanka. Now before we get to number 1, make sure to stick around till the very end for a bonus tip, and please hit that like button if you found any of this valuable so far. Now without further ado, at number 1, we have sell as little as possible until you unlock the flea market. This is because most items are going to have substantially more value being sold on the flea market compared to just being sold to a normal trader. To help with this, what I would recommend is grabbing all of the rigs that you can off of scavs or players that you end up killing. This is because you can throw items inside of them and you're going to end up using up less spaces than if you just had the items loose in your stash. Now for your 2 bonus tips. You're going to want to ensure basically all of your gear for the beginning of wipe, because a lot of people aren't going to actually take your armor or gun out of raid, so you can end up getting those back in insurance and saving yourself a lot of money. This is because a lot of people have access to the same weapons and they'll have a pretty heavy preference on which ones they want to use, so if they don't like your weapon, there's a good chance they're just not going to take it. And to wrap this up, make sure you are focusing on your survival and not just PvP here at the beginning of wipe. Surviving a raid is going to mean a lot more than getting that extra PMC kill here at the very beginning. That's because a lot of people that you're going to end up killing is going to have very, very similar kits to what you have yourself or have access to. So because of this, it's going to be a high risk with little reward. You're going to be risking your life and everything you found in the raid and getting that quest progress, whereas you're not really going to be gaining much unless they happen to have some quest item that you need that you probably can get without killing them. Because of this, with those very early on raids, I would recommend avoiding PvP unless you have a quest where you specifically have to be involved in PvP. This is going to help you progress so much faster and keep your ruble count up higher, and it's going to just make this wipe way easier for you. Now that you know what to focus on, get out there and dominate this wipe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarkov tips.